Craig here from Your Tech. Today's video is one I've been extremely excited to film. This is the final part of the Project PC. We have two objectives for this video. Let's get straight into it. First, let's get into what the objectives are for this video. The first one is to install the final upgrade. We have £100 to spend and I'm going to be upgrading this for the last time. And the second one is to see, have we got good value from doing it this way? We have bought upgrades as we go along and slowly increase to the point where this PC no longer has any of the original parts in it. But would we have been better off saving our money over that time and buying a whole system compared to the upgrades that we've done as we go along? Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we've got good value from the upgrades we've done on this so far, or do you think we would have been better off saving our money and buying a whole system? This PC can now handle modern games moderately well. However, it is being held back. It only has 8 GB of system memory, and as you can see from the benchmark numbers, this really held us back in Hogwarts Legacy, with the most god-awful 1% lows I've ever seen. We also are on a 128GB SATA SSD and 500GB hard drive, so the loading times and the snappiness of the system isn't the best. Today's final upgrade on this PC is going to be 8GB of RAM and a 512 SSD, which cost us a total of £66.35. The stick of RAM is from CEX, and the SSD was from Amazon. So we've done quite well, and coming under the budget this week means last time's little sting of 20 quid for the corner and back plate wasn't too bad. But is that 8GB of RAM and the 512GB NVMe M.2 SSD actually going to make a difference in our gaming performance? So we have installed the new upgrade. We now have 16GB of 3200 mega transfers per second RAM, and we have a 512 M.2 SSD. The boot times are a lot better than what they was, and now we're going to test out the gaming. So I have The Witcher 3 here, and let's see how it compares to when we had 8GB of RAM and basically a hard drive. I don't think the hard drive is going to make much of a difference anyway, but I'm pretty sure that the extra 8GB of RAM is going to do a lot to give us some performance. The last time we played Witcher 3, we were looking at an average frame rate of 144 frames a second with 1% lows at 95. That was with 8GB of RAM. With 16GB of RAM, we have capped out the frame rate at 144, which is the maximum you can get on Witcher 3, but our 1% lows have come up to 120 FPS, which is a massive jump. Obviously the game is as smooth as butter. We can now start leveling up the details to play this game so that it looks better and still plays smooth. So we are on ultra graphics settings for Witcher 3, and I know Witcher 3 isn't a modern title, but we're not using modern hardware. And at ultra details, we are getting an average frame rate of 138 and a 1% low of 83. No issues whatsoever. That 16GB of RAM is doing bits for us here. Next, we're going to move on to Subnautica. Subnautica is very much an easy to run game. There aren't many systems out there that can't play it, especially on like low graphics settings and stuff. The last time we played this, it was on medium, and today I'm going to be playing it on high. We're looking at 137 frames a second, and our 1% lows were 80. So after a few minutes of playing, we've got an average frame rate of 124 and a 1% low of 76. So it's slightly under what our last one was, but we are at maximum settings now rather than medium, and it is still an incredibly smooth and responsive experience. So I think that's a win. I'm going to go to the big guns next, which is Cyberpunk, and last we will do Hogwarts Legacy. So we're in Cyberpunk, and we're looking at 82 frames a second, 83 frames a second average frame rate with a 1% low of 56. So we've actually lost a little bit of 1% low on Cyberpunk. We got better performance on 8GB of RAM. That can't be right. I may have to retest that. So as it turns out, I had made a mistake, so I've had to go back and retest Cyberpunk. What I actually did for Cyberpunk was test it originally on low, and I didn't realise. The actual figures for Cyberpunk at medium with 8GB of system memory and the average frame rate of 48.6 and a 1% low frame rate of 32.4. So we have seen a massive uplift going from 8GB of system memory up to 16GB of system memory. Sorry for the confusion. I will pin a comment on the previous video to make sure that people understand that you are not going to get that level of performance on Cyberpunk with 8GB of system memory. On with the rest of the video. Next, Hogwarts Legacy. Now, this is the one that I've been most looking forward to. The last time we did this had low frame rates of 0.3. Its 1% frame rate was 0.3 frames a second, which is absolutely terrible. It was not enjoyable to play whatsoever. Right then, we are in Hogwarts Legacy. Been playing around for a couple of minutes and we look like we've leveled out at 76 FPS average with a 1% low of 58. This is on medium settings. So the 8 gigabytes of RAM is doing bits for us here. And it's smooth as butter, absolutely no issues whatsoever. So that has definitely worked. I'll be honest, this was the one I was worried about. I was pretty sure it was system memory, but if I was wrong, I was going to look like an idiot. So whilst it's all good that we've managed to get such a good performance uplift, where do you go from here? Because this is the final video. So my thoughts really going from here would be, this is where you then start saving. Save up a couple of months or 6 months worth of money, whatever it takes for you to get to around £200, and then upgrade your graphics card. We've got a 650 watt power supply in there. So you could get something relatively new. If you can find a 8GB 9060 XT for around £200, £250 and save up for that, as long as you can get it to fit in the case, that would be an absolutely amazing pairing. Yeah, you'd be CPU limited a little bit. You've only got a 3600, but graphically, you're gonna be able to push frames on basically any game at 1080p and be absolutely fine. However, as good as this upgrade has been and as good as this path of upgrades has been, I mean, you've got to remember, we started off with a 660 Ti, and this is the total money we've spent. But what if we'd have done a bit of bargain hunting on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or somewhere like that and just bought a system outright? Just saved that money and just bought one in one go? Would we have got better performance? Would we have got worse performance? Let's have a look. With our total being £360-ish, what can we find that's better? Well, I've had a look on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and these are some of the best computers that I could find. A gaming PC with a 5600G, no graphics card, 360 quid. A 6400 paired with a GTX 1060, a 12400F, which is a damn good CPU, paired with a GTX 1650 for 360 quid, a 10400 CPU with a 1660 for £353, a 6th generation i5 paired with a GTX 960 for 363 quid, more than what it cost for us to build that, and lastly, a Ryzen 2600 paired with an RX 580 for £360. Went through, make sure to click use so I could see what actual people, not all these scam listings of new gaming PC with 3rd gen i7. Who the fuck are these people? If you're buying these PCs off eBay, please stop. They are scam artists. Don't buy from them, please. Rant over, doesn't matter. So the fact that this has cost us around £360 and we've done it over time, spending 100 quid here, 100 quid there, as and when we can, and got ourselves a full-fledged gaming PC that will play modern titles, we've actually managed to get really good value out of it. You've got to think that £360 isn't an insignificant amount of money to a lot of people. That's quite a bit of money. But if you've got £100 every month or 2 months to spend on some components, in a few months' time, you've got enough for a PC that will work. You've got enough for a PC that will game. I'm really glad that I did this series to show the kind of value you can get from the used market. Yeah, the components are old, but the Ryzen 3600 is still a fairly relevant CPU. It's got 6 cores, it boosts absolutely fine, and we've paired it with a graphics card that, yeah, it's 10 years old now, but it still plays games. You can still play Witcher 3 at Ultra. I know that's not a modern game, but you can play Hogwarts Legacy at over 60 FPS on medium settings. With a bit of upscaling, you can increase some settings if you want to. An AMD FSR works on basically any graphics card. I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really good series, and I'm glad I did it. What do you guys think though? Would you bother? If you was tight for money and you had a little bit spare every month, would you save it up and buy a full rig, or would you do what I did and just piece it together as you go? Be interested to know what you think. Drop us comments down below. And if you like this series, let me know that too. And if you didn't like it, let me know that as well. Click the like button if you liked it, the dislike button if you think I'm a knobhead, and hopefully I shall see you on the next one. Bye!